Yo, what's up? What's up? It's Nick Boucher here at your friend in business B2B sales podcast coming in hot today with a little Beastie Boys action. You gotta love my season 3 Beastie Boys little song going at you. I love it. It's my riff and my ran and my words of the day when it comes to Beastie Boys. Old school, it's still around, right? Got my old school Jeep sweater on here. Sitting in the lake cottage. Um, Kind of the setting, a beautiful setting Thursday before getting ready to go to our Revco, which is coming up pretty soon. I'm going to be in Seattle for, man, I think it's going to be 4 or 5 days. Going to be there on Super Bowl Sunday, which is a great time to kick off a week of being around sales reps, 4, 5, 6 days, sales people, sales reps, sales leaders, executives, just talking about 2023, and then going into planning for 2024. And there's going to be awards, there's going to be learnings, there's going to be conversations, and there's going to be a lot of things that are happening, and a lot of great things and a lot of work and a lot of things that you're going to be in front of. But one of the biggest things that I want to start talking about and, going into 2024 is, how do we get better? How do you get improve your skill set? How do you get more deep into your conversations? Like, I'm thinking about all the conversations that I've been engaged in over the last 60, 90 days with customers and reps, right? There's two different ways to approach my internal conversations as a leader with my reps and uncovering their pain. And then you have, how are they uncovering their pain with the customers, right? So there's twofold. It's, what is their struggles internally, and what are their struggles externally as salespeople? And you have to help them uncover that pain. And then what are they dealing with, and how are they uncovering their customers' pain? As a leader and as someone that has been learning how to handle that, it's really hard to kind of separate those two. And the reason I say that is because when salespeople are experiencing pain, or they're struggling, or they're not doing the best, or they get an objective that it might be a little bit challenging for them, or they might come out of the gate going, geez, I don't know how I'm going to make my number. And they start struggling around everything. And so pain becomes an internal concept for their business. So it's, how are you handling the pain of the rep? Because once they start feeling the pain, what happens to them is then it gets deeper and deeper into their conversations, right? It gets deeper into what they end up doing as a business. And so how are they handling all of those different pain points? And you got to have deeper conversations with them. You have to kind of uncover that. And there's really been, I would say 3 to 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, I don't know, really common pain points for salespeople, across the entire, um, day to day and week to week and month to month. And one of the biggest things that I'm always experiencing is, like, I'm spending too much time in meetings. We're in meetings, we're on Zoom, we're meeting for meetings, and we're talking about meetings for other meetings. And it becomes a lot. And so as you're setting up more meetings on their schedule, it reduces the amount of time they have customer facing. And I think one of the pain points that you have to alleviate for salespeople in 2024 is their time is all about money. So whatever they're spending in their occasional meetings, they have to figure out, is this meeting going to help them drive revenue? And how much time are they spending on company meetings? Is it open office hours? Is it leaders calls? Is it leaders calls? Is it forecasting calls? Is it Pipeline calls? Is it reviews? What are those meetings for? And how can you help kind of alleviate those to ensure that their pain isn't represented now because they're upset about having another meeting, canceling another meeting, that they're not focused on the sales cycle. And so it's a big conversation that leadership and executives and internal folks at the company should have, because it really becomes a pain point on the salesperson. And you can ask any salesperson right now, like, what are your biggest pain points for your job? And they're like, I don't have enough time. Like, I don't have enough time to update my Salesforce. I don't have time to do my administrative work. I'm dealing with too much administrative work. That's like the second pain point I hear all the time. It's like, I have to update every single stage. I have to update every single information. I have to reiterate for not only external customers, but internal, right, uplines. And so I'm spending hours after work. I'm spending hours before I start getting my calls, and it's tiring and it's tedious. And it's all about updating your CRM, and it's updating tracking orders. Like, how am I finding out if my order got placed? Do I have to put tickets in? What are my tickets? When are they coming back? Like, what do those tickets look like? So, having those conversations out loud kind of can help and like streamline those, right? And so, what is making it easier for a customer, excuse me, your customer, which is your rep, to make it easier? And how is it making it easier on the rep too? And then creating sales reports, right? So, which report is important for them to look at every day? Which one is going to be the most accessible for them to learn? Is it where are their pipeline reports? Are they supposed to be updating certain spreadsheets? Do they have the right reports that they're working off of? Are those reports updated? Is their sales coming through correctly? And then you have creating proposals, presentations, like the pain of creating a presentation. I used to template everything, right? So I have like 5 or 6 different presentations that I would take and customize every time I do a customer facing presentation. And sometimes you forget to change a word or you change a logo. And even if you looked at it and you're doing it late at night, then you have to have somebody else review it to confirm it's right and it looks smooth. So creating presentations can be really hard. Some templates don't allow changeability and some templates don't allow enablement. And then saving a document, where do you save this proposal? You really have to, take these pains away from your reps and make it easier. But also, as a rep, you have to make it easier for you as yourself too, because you have to be able to access these information. You have to be able to be, quick on your feet. You have to be quick on the conversations in front of you. And then, making the necessary preparation before talking to a customer. Like, did you listen to your gong before? Who were you talking to? Do you remember their titles? Did you ask the right people? Have you confirmed that that information was set up correctly? Have you got the right information? And then handling various paperwork, right? So SOC 1 reports, if they need legal reports, handling, requirements for buying process. Some people require, certain red lines. Some companies need more information than others. And so I think it's important to understand how handling paperwork is essential for their business. And then, how long is a salesperson spending on this stuff? And I hear one out of 1/3 of their week they're working on this stuff. 20% of your time on SRM or administrative work and reporting, that's a major problem. That's a problem because that work that they're not doing is either putting them in like a bad mood or stressed out, or they just know that this is going to be a problem moving forward. And so, understanding those big pain points from your salespeople and your internal work is so important. And then after you place an order, handling the customer service and the technical support and potential issues that arise. And a salesperson, especially new logos, if you're a new logo seller versus a customer account manager, it's different, right? But if you're a new logo seller, how are you handling that customer support and services? Are you passing the buck? Are you setting expectations during the sale properly? Are you experience what you're saying seeing on slides, are you delivering that right so the customer on the other side understands, okay, these are the processes I can expect after go live happens? So are they handling those technical solutions, or how are they having to, if there's a technical support, if there's inquiries that, hey, my software is not working, or my solution's not working, or whatever you sold me isn't what I thought it was. And so that becomes a pain of the customer, but also a pain towards the client, and the seller, right? And the seller goes, okay, man, my faith in selling this product, it might go down quicker if I don't feel that this support is going to be handled for them the way I've sold it to them. And then, what is the ultimate, solution when I do have an issue? Do I have a 24-hour help center? Do I have someone that I can work with directly? Can I speak to somebody? I had a customer, man, he's a tough customer. He's a great guy, great CFO, but wanted instantaneous gratification every time he called in. So he was texting me. He wanted, he was a big client of ours, but he wanted his information right away. And I don't blame him. He was trying to go live at a certain point, and we had expectations to do so. But we weren't meeting those expectations. And sometimes it's not about having the capability, it's just answering them back. And so, an email or text like, hey, we're working on it, letting you know we're working on it is something big that a lot of people need to start doing. It's like, don't ignore an email, don't ignore a text, like call them back and on the phone and say, hey, there's some hiccups here, there's an issue, but we here at customer service team has indicated there's a problem. We're going to be able to solve it for you. We can take care of it for you. That is such a big advantage when you just call them back and take control of the situation. And then the fourth one, I always hear like the craziest, like chaotic process, right? Like, it's just like the processing orders right now. Like, just getting an order completed, or making sure your partner understands the order. If you're working in the OEM business, like, how is their paperwork align with your paperwork? Does it match the right rate cards that you provided? Is that process held up for some reason? Maybe it's human error, maybe it's manual error, and that can cause issues. Or maybe they don't think it's as important in the OEM space versus another internal process. And so those chaotic processes need to have guidelines. You need to build right approaches to those. You need to understand who the people in play from that process are from every step away along the way. You need to address those pain points for your salespeople so that they can feel confident that they're going to be able to move forward with their sale, and that they can deliver what they're promising to their customers. And if they think it's a chaotic process, and the partner does as well, then now you have these struggles all coming, in front of you. And so how do you address those, right? Um, Another piece is these guides, right? Where are the guides? Are they available? Do you have, sufficient training? Do you have information that's available to you? Is it on your CRM? Have people in your organization left unfilled fields that you can't determine? That's a big piece, right? You're on a customer call and they ask you a question, you go into your CRM to look it up, and the information is not there. Like, that could be stall a deal. That can be a pain that then shows the customer that you don't have it all buttoned up. And so that becomes a problem. That becomes an issue. And so understanding the sales cycle and the sales conversation now becomes even that deeper level of interest, and a deeper level to the conversation. And so you need to make sure that you have that you have that process, those guides, those videos, those elements to say, okay, after you purchase, these are anticipated processes, this is what the orders look like, this is how the solution is going to work. All of these things need to be outlined and very clear and crisp. So just like if you purchase a piece of furniture and you get those instructions, At the beginning, the furniture is in a box that obviously doesn't look like when it's finished. And so when it's completed, there's instructions every step of the way to then have that table in your kitchen. That's what every company should have. And that table then has the finished product and what it looks like, and the happy customer sitting at the table and eating dinner with their family, going, "Oh man, this solution looks great. I'm happy with this order that I just got out of Amazon or I ordered from IKEA." And when I originally got it, it looked like the picture on the front of the box. Well, the box on then you throw away. Now you're enjoying the table in your kitchen. And that is the final solution that customers and pain points from the salesperson need to be addressed. You need to have step-by-step instructions to do everything in a right fashion for everyone. So, anyways, I think that's so important. I think it's important also from, qualifying a lead, right? So um, I think about this too, right? So when a lead comes in, this is one of the biggest pain points I hear from reps all the time. It's the marketing sends over a lead, the lead comes in, you're reviewing the lead, and they're not interested, or they were completely rooted to somebody else who has a different technology or something completely different, and the lead isn't qualified, or maybe it is qualified and you did a bad job of qualifying it and you left it there and didn't move it. So people all of a sudden start saying, well, maybe I shouldn't send this salesperson good leads because they're not even working those. And so I think there's different ways to approach pain, and there's different ways to understand the pain on the salesperson side. So once you address that piece and you feel confident that box can come into that furniture, and that box that lead that came in, and the way you process it, the way you purchase it, all that stuff now gets addressed. Now you have happy sellers. So I've been saying this a lot lately in 2024. Happy partners, happy sellers, happy customers. That's the way it goes. If you have a happy partner who positions the solution, has all the right approaches to it, builds that box, puts everything in the box perfectly, the box is looking great, the finished product, perfect. Then you have the perfect, happy seller who then has the ability to position and sell that box and the final solution. And then you have the happy customer who's using the table, enjoying what he put together, enjoying what they have experienced. And now you have happy partner, happy seller, happy client. That's how you address pain. And that's how you make the pain of you're experiencing from your salespeople a way better customer satisfaction, a better go-to-market strategy, and 2024 looks a lot cleaner for a lot of people because they've addressed the pain throughout the sales process, right? And so then when you're on a call and you're a seller and you're on a call, man, I feel great. I can feel confident. I can feel that I can ask the pain of the customer now. Now I can go and ask the pain points of what their issues are and why did they come in the queue looking for a box that is a finished product of a table. Like, why don't they have that table in their kitchen right now? Probably because they have one that is not doing the job, or maybe they never had one, or maybe they sit at their kitchen table, or maybe they sit at their couch and eat, and now they're like, well, this isn't working for my family chemistry, we need to sit at the table. And so you as a salesperson, and you're feeling confident in all those pain that you had before, now you can empathize with the customer and start solving problems and getting them solutions to solve them. And that's where taking that deeper dive and identifying customer pains really come into play. And so when you can identify, really engage the customer in that pain, then now you have the perfect formula. And that has been really the different levels of our business moving forward. And you as a seller can surface those pains. Whether it's a financial pain, right? That's an easy one. You start with, first is, okay, first pain, you can kind of put these in buckets, right? So your first pain is your financial pain. So are you experiencing revenues up? Are your profits down? Like, is that something that's occurred? Like, are you having visibility? Is there numbers that are making financial sound decisions? Or have you not made decisions that are, working for you? Are your profits up so that you can really, excel your business and grow it next year? Or are you worried about closing your doors? Those are really, tight, really kind of detailed questions that you can ask. Some people might get a little offended on those. You can kind of be a little softer in asking financial questions. You can do some research on those financial questions before and have kind of an outline, maybe some facts and stats that kind of outline those financial problems. And then you can pod number two in the people, right? Are is your team experiencing, down moral problems? Are they not efficient? Do they not have the right technology in place to perform the job? Are they making mistakes that you're constantly seeing? Is it costing you issues because of these mistakes? Um, are you losing your deals to competitors? Is a new competitor coming in the space? How are your people addressing those issues for competitors? Are you understanding what the people's needs are around their pain? What are those pain points? Have you considered, different ways to train people? Like, have you had these issues come up in the past that have worked for you? Those are kind of pain points you can ask around people. And then the third part is kind of like productive pain, right? So productivity, like, are you finding yourself spending 3 or 4 or 5 hours doing something that really could be automated in 30 minutes a month versus, 3 to 6 hours a week? Like, is there a return on investment? Have you purchased things in the past that have thought they were going to address those and it took too long to install, or did it not work the way you anticipated it? Have you purchased new ways to increase your productivity? Um, are you spending too much time in meetings over things? Like, again, back to those meetings, like, is your productivity there? um like, are you hitting deadlines? Are you missing deadlines for clients? Those are important questions as well, that I find that a lot of people are asking, and you can ask in questions to your pain, to address pain within your customer base. And then process pain, that fourth bucket really is like, how's your hiring process? Do you feel confident with the people you're hiring? Are you rushing to hire people? Are you understanding what you need? Do you have a good profile of the person you're looking for? What is your profile of your hiring process? Do you have ways to monitor your sales pipeline? Like, we are using a gong. Like, do you have ways to listen and coach and develop your team and not have to spend time on the meeting when you can just listen to the meeting? Are you able to get analytics from the meeting? Are you able to get data insights? Like, what's your team marketing approach? Like, how are you gauging in next steps, action items? Like, what is the way to get to the end result? Is the customer on the other end confused, or do they understand what you're saying? Or do they understand what your reps are saying? Those are huge ways to kind of understand pipeline. And then, how long have they not been engaging with you, and have they kind of, ghosted you? When's the last time you've talked to them? Are there gaps in your process? Are there sales gaps? Are you rushing to sales because you need to hit a number? All those things can be outlined. And then, one of the biggest things is, are you overwhelmed with asks that are unreachable? Are you overwhelmed with your process in regards to the way you're going to market? Can you not keep up? All these things are around process. And so, when you're taking this deeper dive to your customers, these are the things you want to prepare for prior to going in and asking these questions. Because if you have some plan around getting to their financial plan, Pain, you can ask budget, right? If you're understanding people, you can see if they need manual versus automated process. Are they experiencing issues there? Are they experiencing long-term productivity pain? And then you lead into process pain. And all four of these things can then help you structure a solution to address all those with the offerings that you have. And so once you've pulled out this pain from your customer, the next step is now you can provide that solution. You can provide that idea and concept to address each of those 4 points in ways that kind of come together in a great proposal, great option, and now they're addressing pain across the board. And that's really the key to it, is like addressing pain, and then you can then address the customer experience. Because once you've addressed the sales people's pain and then you've addressed the customer pain, then you can take it on to the customer experience pain. And that's the most important one, is have you great references? Do you have people that say, hey, I love your product, it's so great, I'm going to tell 10 more people? That's the journey that you want to get out of your customers, from the partner to the seller to the client. And then all these people have this journey. The order is really been easy, you guys are efficient, you're exciting, you are helping my business. And then you've addressed pain, and now you've seen what pain used to look like, and now you are sitting at that table smiling and laughing and enjoying the people around you because you got a new table at your in your kitchen. And so when you start really understanding, then you can take that next level of building the relationship around that table. And so bring people to that table that have experienced that same motion throughout the sales process. And now you're building a table of more friends and more partners and more people that are going to buy into what you're selling and how you're going to be addressing the pain moving forward. And that's huge for you as a seller. And that's what has always been kind of my strategy, and getting to the next level of pain, whether it's from the customer side, whether it's the salespeople side, because ultimately, if you can address the pain and get deep and find out those points, then the selling just becomes super easy, because you're aligning those pains with the way that you are going to provide the solution to address those. And so, anyway, I think that's a huge point going into any of your SKOs, or you're going into Revco, or you're going into, a very exciting February, March, first quarter if you're on that fiscal year. But anyway, go crush it. Enjoy your day. Go address your pain, get it out of the way, ask the deeper diving questions, and keep crushing it, rock and roll. And I'll spit at you again very soon. Cheers, y'all. Bye.